like a small private room where there was nobody else would be listening to.
True.
So it's mainly about Lady Wachter, though, and all the different things that I realized about her too that I didn't want to say when we were sitting in her dining room. But she can't be a leader. That's just not gonna. There's too much to her though. All this whole infernal ties in though is probably has to deal with stuff with my family. So my family was definitely involved with a lot of different sacrifices and type of dark rituals and stuff like that, and basically forced me into doing dark ritual stuff, though forcing me to sacrifice my younger sister and doing a whole bunch of things like that. So
Oh my god, trauma dumping.
yeah, it's trauma
Uh,
dumping time,
honestly,
and
I feel like that just coming out as a rambling sentence really fits, though.
Yeah.
Uh, listening to this, Irina would definitely close the book and like kind of quirk an eyebrow. Um,
yeah,
I'll lean towards Narlog and I'll be like, I thought I had a tough childhood.
yeah. So
Not to come off as racist, but you know them redskin folk, dude.
yeah, I know,
They make
but
us orcs look good.
I mean, why do you think I? Yeah, that's why I left my family though, because I didn't want to deal with any of that anymore. So,
Oh shit, he heard me. But no offense, Romir.
oh, I'm not offended by them. These people are fucking assholes. So, but hearing the whole infernal ties though, and doing sacrifices to get imps though, and wanting us to basically stab somebody and killing the current Virgin Master though, almost like it basically wanted us to sacrifice for him too though. So if odds are if she becomes Virgin Master though, there's going to be a lot of sacrifices that are going to be happening in this town, as I would suspect.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that happen to you. Uh, and I know it's tough being alone. You know, I've been alone for a long time. But, you know, if you need any family, you've already helped me. I'll gladly be your kin.
Well, I appreciate that.
that's very sweet.
But
I
I.
mean, I
Go
mean,
ahead.
you have been my canine companion before, so
Hey. Well, I wasn't really looking at too deep and all that. I just thought I liked, you know, she liked killing, I liked killing. It seemed like a perfect fit. But after that information, I feel like
yeah,
we
it,
can't trust her. We
it's
cannot.
it's not a hunt type of killing though. It's just straight up dark sacrificing kind of thing. So, with that being said, though, we're both either the current Virgin Master though and her though are both bad options though. So it has to be someone else,
That's fair.
and preferably not, since preferably not kill the current Virgin Master though, because she would most likely use it as a sacrifice.
Exactly.
What about her leads you to believe that she has ties to your family? Sacrifices and pacts with
Mm,
familiars aren't necessarily uncommon with the Infernal.
that's true. But it's
Like I
also
So
said,
I
them
assume there's a
redskin
little
people.
something more to the story that you may know that we don't quite grasp yet.
mm, it's just mainly just this is basically built around a hunch though, but it just seems too much of a coincidence of the stuff that I've dealt with though with what she wants us to do too. And I just don't want any part in it also.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, she certainly caught my attention when she had mentioned the sacrifices needed to be made. And thus far, you've proven yourself a very reliable investigator. So if you say you have a hunch, I'd bet money on it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, this is totally um going off of just past experiences though, and I don't want to do anything involving sacrifices basically. That's just me. I'm okay with either taking him down, like politically and stuff like that, though. But yeah, like killing him in that type of way, though, is probably not going to be anything good is going to come from it.
I certainly have no proof of an alignment here. Uh, Irina would speak up from the corner, but you can see she looks pensive about this whole thing. Um, Firstly, I'm very sorry all of that happened to you. That's dreadful. But you mentioned partaking in a sacrifice of your sister. Sacrifice of children, the child of the person doing the sacrificing in particular. Um, well, I'd never made the connection before, but it's said that Lady Wachter did have a daughter other than Stella who would have been around my age had she survived her childhood. But it does concern me that Ola died at a very young age, and now we come to find that Lady Wachter says sacrifices have been made in order to adhere to this grand plan. Tis a suspicious coincidence, she would say, looking at you, Rolmir. I'm sure, as Ervir says, not all child sacrificing cults are identical, but it is a similarity worth noting. Uh,
Oh,
but I'm in
take
agreement.
yep.
Sorry,
Take
go
this.
ahead.
Yeah, no, take this information as you will, though. But yeah, I don't like any part of this.
And here, after our walk back to the tavern, I was ready to agree with everyone else. After seeing those prisoners in the stocks, I decided that those scales were not even. But I also agree with you completely, Romy. This is exactly the course of action I'd like to take if we can. Now, that does raise a lot of questions. Mostly, how do we do it? And how do we stall Wachter? Because if she
Yeah,
doesn't think we're doing something, she's going to enact her own plan.
yeah.
Well, we
eh,
could let her enact it temporarily. I
At how
can't think
much
of a
loss
way
of
to.
life?
Well, say we do what you were mentioning and have the Burgmaster arrested. Perhaps we could even jump the gun a little bit. Maybe Danica knows enough people to round up a small, more well-behaved group of concerned townsfolk that might arrive at his manor later tonight, insist that these vile deeds of his stop. Perhaps we could even convince a few of the guards. The whole thing is a rushed thought, but my point is, if we go with a non-lethal way of dispatching the Burgomaster, we can let her think she's won, and wouldn't her guard be at the lowest possible?
what do you say that we do? Like after her guard is down, like try to get her arrested or kill her?
Either or. I think that's a bit up to you. It sounds like you believe she should be removed from the equation.
Y- y-
If those souls are being sacrificed, that means they're not going to the Crystal Spire, correct? Someone or something is collecting.
I would think so,
We
but
killed them.
Hmm?
We killed them.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's that then. He says, like, kind of surprised at your sudden
Yeah,
insistence.
kill him. Okay. I mean,
Olga,
I could.
I've never heard you speak like this. It's so exciting.
Of all of the sins one could commit, that is by far one of the most treacherous.
I'm reminded of a campfire from back home.
I mean, I guess we all have different reasons for wanting to kill her, though. But yeah. Yeah, killing Lady Walker though definitely seems like the good option, which was the first thing I offered, by the way, to do when I first got into this.
That is true. Irina kind of trails off.
In a strange twist, both you are especially vindicated, but I also feel a little vindicated now. After all of that arguing, it's like, actually, no, we need to not kill the Baron. Oh, okay.
Well, I'll be honest with the rules of Malarn and following his ways. I couldn't necessarily kill Lady Walker, but nothing says you can't bend the rules. And as long as one of you will be willing to, finish her, I wouldn't mind helping.
Like, no women and children clause.
Yes.
I
Or
mean,
if she's
Why
trying to
not
kill
women?
me, then
Women
I
can
can
be
kill
just
them.
as fierce.
Exactly. If she's trying to kill me, then it's, or maybe us, or my newfound brother, then maybe possibly I could jump in.
He talked about it before, didn't he? There need to be more to continue the line so there's more prey to hunt down the road. She looks a little bit concerned at that, but like, pretty
Yes,
sure that's what he said.
Irina. Yes, that's exactly it.
And
What are you
she's
writing in that
probably
journal exactly?
She
too
pushes
old
her
to be a
chair like
broodmare from
4 inches further back.
And if they're past birthing age, then no harm, no foul in the eyes of Malar.
yeah, like
Eh,
I'm
the frail
even
and the weak kind of fall into the same category, but
But
I
is
guess there's
she
like an
frail
in
and weak?
between. Exactly, right? Is she quite frail? Is she quite weak? Well, I guess we'll
We
see.
know she has a pact.
Yeah, she might be very strong. Might be a very interesting hunt.
You do know that she has a pact. Um, she was also willing to part with these trinkets very quickly. Who knows if they're the only ones she had?
Right. Which I'm glad
Also,
at least we got a meal and we got some trinkets out of her before we decided to kill her. So that's
yeah,
nice.
that's like yeah, no, she gave us food. Now we kill her.
Just another day in Baravia, dude.
what kind of security does she have? We've only seen her 2 sons.
Unless she
Yes.
just uses fear as
2 sons and a daughter, though, as she mentioned, Stella's mind is troubled these days. But undoubtedly she has either a few private enforcers or perhaps a deal struck with some of the more easily bought guards. But I certainly didn't see any signs of
Perhaps
heavy
an infernal or
security.
two.
There is
so.
that concern as well, she says, pointing at Narlug.
Also, well, one thing that an option too. Um, with Stella's mind being a little troubled too, though. There is a possibility that I could disguise myself though to talk to her though and try to. It's just as somebody just. It's just like some townsfolk too. Just find a way to see if I could convince her to do the deed for us too, so we don't get our hands dirty.
Interesting.
I don't know if this works as like kind of like a persuasion role.
There's a
This is
lot of what ifs to your plan. I think we would need to learn more first.
Yeah,
learn
they
more about. Okay.
learn more about how Stella's broken, I think is what Irvir's saying.
Yeah.
That could mean a lot. And also, she may be innocent, depending on how long she's been.
Fair enough.
True.
I wouldn't want to jump the gun on her. But the
Well,
sons are almost definitely complicit.
yeah, I wouldn't think to do.
Yeah, neither of them seemed even a little bit surprised at these revelations, and when she was running the room, shall we say, both of them were very deferential to her in all of this.
They looked
You
across
know.
the tavern at Romir and said they kind of liked his vibe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's true.
A woman back home they'd like him to meet.
Right. I was like,
And it wasn't even just an organ harvesting scheme.
Damn.
no, I just
Uh,
wanted to. I just want to rip them off on some cards.
uh, but yeah, so I suppose then the question is, if we're going to deal with her, should we just deal with her?
There could be some instability in the city if both of those things happen at once. If both Wachter and Vargas are gone. But Danica may be able to
Right, a
voice
certain
requirement there.
leader of the guard might be able to just swoop in, and I think he's probably worse than both of them.
That's also an interesting thought. Have
Yeah.
Izek do our dirty work for us.
Oh.
Hmm. It is a thought.
I don't know how Nakabachi feels about that, but
It's like bait on a line, used for a bigger, stronger hunt.
all right, well that settles that. I thought you get a little bit more, have a little bit more emotional ties to that, but
As long as
didn't
he,
want
as long as he dies in the end. I mean, I've already waited this long. I can wait a little longer.
to. I didn't know if he was like, we do not work with him though, just because, you know,
Not so much work with.
But use him.
or yeah, okay, fair enough.
It would be like Lady Wachter is a part of our trap, and she's the bait that we line it with. And after they fight, or however things shake out, I wouldn't expect Izek to lose, but might be a little bit weaker for it.
There is one other option. It does remove us almost entirely from the situation, and I wouldn't wish to rob you of taking action against someone that you clearly despise, she says to Rolmir. But if we were to want to get Vargas on our side entirely, Lady Wachter effectively just committed open devilry and treason presence. And Narlug, you know how to reveal those windows. Pretty hard to refute that evidence, I think. The only concern is it looking like we had something to do with it.
Yeah, 'cause the last time we tried to bring something up to them, though, they thought it was our fault. So,
Well, it's
I
not so
wouldn't
much
go
that
that
as,
far.
we got
please go ahead.
detained.
He just simply used it as leverage to gain something he wanted. He saw an opportunity and he took it. I don't think he really thought that it was our fault. I think more likely he felt a little bit of his control slipping when vampires were discovered within his walls, something that he did not order. And with that, it pissed him off a little bit, but apparently he was going to suggest the same thing I did, so somehow us being a problem became a benefit to him. And that's exactly what he wanted, and now he has seen fit to control us by having us attend the festival tomorrow.
Ugh, city politics, Irina says, rolling her eyes. Which is probably very funny to all of you because this is a fucking hamlet compared to any of the major cities in Faerun. Waterdeep has over 1 million people that live in it. This backwater town of 700 is fucking nothing.
Yeah, fair enough, though. Yeah, no, this is Hickville. Um,
But Walker did mention other like minded people. They could become a problem at the festival tomorrow if she were dispatched immediately.
They could, but I would think that without a leader,
It's
they
hard
may
to say
not take
how
action.
radical they are.
That's true.
Never really know with infernal worshipping cults. But who am I to judge? He says, showing off his scale tabard.
Well, if you are going with Vargas's suggestion, she says, rolling her eyes, you'll be standing right next to him on the dais.
It's not him I'm so much worried about. It's everyone else. Although, there's a part of me that also wonders how innocent the guards really are.
Almost certainly not at all. They're the ones locking the townsfolk in the stocks, after all.
Exactly, and not a moment's hesitation in doing so. Seemed disgusting.
At least we know they're loyal to whoever's in charge, whether they like it or not.
That's probably true.
So I have a feeling no matter who we place in power, they'll at least be on their side.
We should see if the Mardikovs are on board with taking over that position.
I mean, because everyone seems to like them.
It's been that way as long as I can possibly remember. He kind of shrugs.
They're
Who hates a
providing-
person that gives you wine and food?
Yeah.
You can't.
They
Precisely.
provide free wine to these people. I mean, sure, there's some small personal gain in that their name spreads around and people like to come here, but more than that, they're just giving people something for nothing.
And charity is rare in these lands.
I mean, it's better than arresting people for being sad.
Exactly.
Very true.
They're just giving people depressants, is all.
So,
A mood
are we...
enhancer.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Are we then at least operating under the assumption that we'll allow Vargas to continue running the town for a short while to avoid double the upset, as you said earlier?
I think that may be wise, dependent on what the Mardikovs have to say.
Yeah,
They may
I mean,
have a good idea of when the right time to take his place might be. Assuming they agree to it. They may warn us that, oh, this is a terrible, terrible idea and we have no idea what we're doing and about to do to the city.
Or they might not want nothing to do with it.
Also
Well,
possible.
I guess then we might as well get our story straight so that we can call Danica up here and see what she has to say. So, what is the at least proposed plan then? She says, kind of leaving the floor to you to all kind of figure it out. How you want to phrase it, that is. I don't know if you want to give Danica all of this information.
So is it the idea to throw Wachter under the bus, reporting her for conspiracy, and we can reveal the runes, which kind of points the finger at her. That puts us closer into Vargas's,
Good side.
trust, I suppose. And then we just have to come up with an idea of how to deal with him.
I
Once
mean,
he's out of the picture, they take the power.
because I mean, if she is out of commission, though, then theoretically, like, we would, if we do kill him, would that still be considered a sacrifice through her, though, if she's either locked up or dead?
I would
She's
think
dead.
not.
Contract should be null and void, right?
Because, yeah. Also, I get to keep that rapier, though, and that's kind of cool, so.
And if actually, Romeo raises an interesting point. If we have the Baron do something about Wachter, he's going to seize all of her assets, including the shit we might want.
That is
And-
probably true.
There's also a concern that he's going to execute Stella as well.
I don't even know her.
Exactly why he's trying to scare us with death.
Oh man, if only you could meet my orc brethren.
Many an adventurer have.
Oh, Narlog. He's a man of few words, but
You
gets me
gotta make
every
those
time.
words count, though. Gotta
Uh-huh.
make those words count.
Ah,
Oh God.
you raise a good point, though. If we do believe that Stella is innocent in all of this, Vargas is likely to want to, well, either stamp out the bloodline entirely, or maybe worse, give Stella back to Victor. She was promised to him at one point.
Ew.
As far as we're aware, Victor's a real piece of shit.
Just like
Yeah,
his
we could deal with him
grandpa.
on the back end, though. I guess that would be best case scenario. She gets promised to him, so her life is spared, and then we just kill him anyways.
And what
Fair.
happens in the meantime?
And she's already putting up with some shit. What's a few more days?
Not
A
wrong.
lot could happen in 24 hours.
And if she's lucky, they're married before he dies, and then she gets to take all his belongings. She walks out with the upper hand.
That's actually it's a good point. It's probably read that in a book somewhere, I would assume.
Yeah, it's something about human marriages, and we just gotta get him to write out a will of some sort.
Or forge one, and I'll look
Our
around there.
mastery of forgery here.
Yep.
I can forge a will.
So
That is
indirectly, we would be helping her.
true.
Yeah.
As much as it would pain me to ask this of him, we could also probably have Father Lucian temporarily stow her away somewhere.
Stella, you're talking about?
Yes. But I don't like having to tell him everything that we're about to do. And I don't really want to ask that of him.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Could just say she's being hunted by Strahd. Needs a place to stay.
I don't want to lie to him either.
I will
I
gladly lie to him.
I'll lie to him.
But I
Oh,
would
that,
know you're lying to him.
yeah, but he wouldn't.
You won't have to be in the building. How about that?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
There may
Like,
come a time when I think what you guys want to do is the correct option, and I will simply turn around.
yes.
This is not one of those times.
He did the thing. He did the
This
thing.
is easily avoidable.
Well, I see it as a almost a 2-for-1. If we have Stella at least stowed away somewhere, or maybe not the church, but anywhere else, we could always use her to draw out Victor to a place where he's unfamiliar and unprepared, and
Oh, set up a trap, like what a hunter would do.
something like that.
It's also not a bad idea.
Only if we can
If-
ensure that she's safe, of course.
Oh yeah,
And while Father
Wait,
Lucian might not be able
but
to make, or we might
what
not be able to take her to Father Lucian. Go ahead, Frank.
what if? Hear me out. Like she won't be in any danger though, but I disguise myself as her.
Hmm.
That is certainly an option. And especially if we do make it seem as though she's easy to be taken, then, well, you would have a nice, up close and personal uh, distance to him to do
Yeah,
whatever it is you need to do.
be a real shame if a knife went right through his head.
Hmm.
Or go for a hug though, and his knife goes in his back.
Yeah, my Meg is not disagreeing with that, by the way. She's just kind of thinking.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I was going to say is that If you're not comfortable taking her to Father Lucian under false pretenses, Danica and the other Monticos have been seemingly secretly nursing Borden back to health. Once he's able to move about, which sounded like it ought to be any day now, maybe Danica could take care of Stella, at least for a short while.
She's
I mean,
willing.
because she doesn't have to be, Stella doesn't have to be in any particular danger, though.
No,
If we,
but she just needs somewhere to disappear to. That's all,
yeah,
so that the Baron can't find her.
Yeah,
yeah,
because the whole thing is we're
Keep
going to
saying
reveal the
Baron,
walkers.
Burgomaster.
Yeah, once we reveal the walkers are conspiring, he's definitely going to go do some arresting or murdering. One of the two.
Yes, he doesn't seem the patient sort.
yeah, not with a mustache like that.
Yeah, we'll have to enact.
That is a
We'll have to enact
mustache
her
of
safety
action.
before we do that.
It's tricky. We either go to Vargas first and tell him what we know. Perhaps he sends just the guard, or the guard and Ezek to deal with this problem. And then we lose control of what happens to Stella. Or we could go eliminate Lady Wachter and Karl and Nikolai and attempt to secret Stella away. But the difficulty then comes in proving all of this without any doubt. Because otherwise, we've just committed 3 murders in Valor. And the Burgomaster, well, he'll have all the evidence he needs to.
Well,
Go ahead.
unless we could, yeah, unless we could just do like the reveal though to get them arrested though, and then just to keep our hands clean for the time being. Because trying to do murders in a police state is probably not the smartest decision. Perhaps.
Probably not.
So
I mean, hell, we got in trouble for murdering a vampire.
that's true. I mean, that's kind of, she kind of like ran out the window and burned herself. But
Ooh, she killed herself.
yeah,
He had nothing to do with it.
He fell out of a window and spontaneously combusted. Clear suicide.
Acts of God are not covered under insurance or the law. So.
I read about this place called Russia. People fall out of windows there all the time.
Happened again today, by the way.
it did happen. It did happen today.
See,
It was,
it's like it's like a
it
school
was
shooting in America.
yeah, it was
Yep.
a ballet dancer fell out of a window today.
Yep, famous ballerino. You know, those dancers, they're known for their poor balance and often falling over.
Really should make
Ugh.
windows like hotels over there. You just can't open them. They're too small to climb through.
Oh no, they do make them like that, but the KGB has the clicker for all of them.
Once we've shown our hand, I don't think there will be any further negotiating with the Baron. So if we tell him before we can secret Stella away, there's likely no stopping him at that point. Although he'll know that trotting through Wachter House without any sort of evidence is also likely to draw some ire from the townspeople. So he may want to investigate to some extent first, which could be a contingent of guards over to Wachter House or whatever the case may be.
Uh,
Point, it's likely that Lady Wachter will know we betrayed her.
Almost
Because
certainly.
Vargas has been looking for an excuse to do away with her for quite some time, I would imagine, given that she's the only one in town that can even possibly rival his position. If he could act against her already, he would have, I suppose, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We could always try to convince the Burgermaster that we could head over and take care of it for him and save himself. We'll show him the evidence and of course once she's eliminated, show her the runes and maybe win some goodwill, and then also be able to see Stella before he gets there. If
I
she's at the
like
house,
the
that is.
idea. I wonder if he'll let us.
That's the
Or if he lets us and then goes, look at these groups of murderers. Time to get rid of them.
yeah.
And then he uses us.
That is certainly a concern.
What if I disguise myself as Strahd? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't see this going anywhere good.
I was seeing if the word was going to just immediately stop me.
I figured the
Uh,
eyebrow raise and slow head turn was.
Yeah, because like this man ain't reasonable too. So,
You,
because
you,
once he has his,
you've inspired me, Ralmer. What if you disguised yourself as the Burgermaster and made a big scene about killing her in the street? Maybe dragged her body out there and made it very obvious that it was the Burgermaster who did it, and then they arrest the Burgermaster for breaking the law.
That is
that's
positively unhinged, but I kind of like it.
that that is real fucking unhinged though, and I'm kind of down for it.
Except for all of the guards and his family and whoever else that can go, no, he was right there the whole time.
But,
Yeah.
well, no, we're trying to avoid a riot. Because if there's anything that could possibly win the populace to your side, revealing that he is in fact an undeniable monster is certainly something.
Hmm.
Could always wait till the night. Have Spider Magoo sleep into his room, paralyze him.
Peter, my
We drag him out, hide him somewhere while he's paralyzed, then enact the murder disguised as him. And then once the blame is on him, swap Rawmere and the Burgermaster. That'll be a little tricky, that part, yes, but
You don't say. Because like I feel like anything that we do though is going to be a big risk.
oh yeah, anarchy typically has that involved in its nature.
Yeah.
Or we just find a way to get the daughter out immediately.
Yeah.
That'd be the easiest course of action, probably.
Because I don't know if the easiest thing though is just like let both the current Burgermaster though and Lady Walker though just kill each other basically, and then clean up. I mean, we could do some evidence planning on both sides. Make them seem like one is after the other, which they are though. So, but kind of gives them proof though, and then just
It's certainly not a bad idea. My only concern is just
because that way, like we aren't going to, because we're just going to be planning stuff though. So like we're not going to be involved in any of this and not talking to them directly.
right. Um, but yes, it would just be the amount of time we have.
Yeah.
If we have to head Lady Walker off before she makes a move tomorrow morning, unless we can convince her to wait.
So as long as we had a plan in motion.
True.
I guess we just have to tell her like what we're what we want to tell her though to prolong something though, and I could just simply just lie to her and saying like what we're planning though, even if we're not planning it.
She does seem particularly charmed by you. She'll probably buy whatever you tell her.
Because I did try to sweet talk her though for a reason, so such as these. So
We go with the forged documents.
yeah,
That'll probably buy us the time we need, if that is the time we need.
Just tell her what? That it will take a few days to finish them so that they look correct?
I could start a few of them, half-ass some of them, but a proof of concept showing that his work is sufficient, and that it'll take a couple days to find the people and place in town that we need.
I've got the excuse we might need, she says, kind of suddenly coming to her. She snaps her fingers. Anything that the Baron would be sending as a written correspondence would be stamped with his personal seal. If we tell her we need time to steal the ring in order to make the documents look legitimate, that's not slang in Eastern Europe in fantasy settings, then maybe that's a decent excuse?
That makes sense to me.
I like it.
And then simply the issue of succession. So, to recap, the plan is we're going to tell Lady Wachter that we're intending to frame the Baron for the business with the vampires. And then we're going to stand with the Baron tomorrow, or you're all going to stand with the Baron at least. Make him believe that you're on his side, and at a later date we'll quietly dispose of them both.
And somewhere in between, we'll find and help Stella.
Mhm. It gives us more time to make sure that she's safe.
That's the real concern. Dispatching both of them quietly, I'm not so sure about that.
I
I don't
mean,
think quiet's gonna happen either way, but we'll probably. Well, I suppose it depends. I don't see a way that we dispatch them without drawing some guard attention.
yeah, we can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs, so
But this does buy us the time to maybe figure out Stella's situation, in which case that we could potentially go to the Baron at some point and get rid of one of them with the guards on our side. But that'll
Watch
kind
Stella be the one that has the pact.
Right.
of be some shit. But some of that's gonna have to be a adaptable plan, as we're not sure how things will develop over the next day or two.
Of course. It just gives us a general idea of what we're going to say to Danica. I think we're lucky in that I've known her a very long time, and not only is she a good-hearted person, but I think if I vouch for you all, she'll be willing to listen. And as admittedly insane as all of this is, you've all clearly demonstrated that you're good people, and she hesitates and kind of side-eyes Ayakobachi, at heart, at the very least. And you've done a lot to help me. I certainly trust what you intend to do, and that you're not simply out for personal gain. Hopefully, if I vouch for you, she'll hear you out. But be prepared for her to maybe be a bit overwhelmed with all of this. Um,
It is
Another day.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
should I fetch her? I think I cut out there. Should
Sure.
I fetch her and see what she has to say? Um,
I have no
And she,
objection this time, unless anyone else does.
Makes sense to me.
yeah, she'll step out of the room. You can hear her head down the stairs. Which, just in case there's anything that was only supposed to be between the four of you, now's your chance. But she'll be on for a minute or so while she grabs Danica.
Hmm?
No, it's funny. I was also born in a field, like Irina.
You were made for each other.
Did Lady Wachter say Irene was born in the field?
Yeah, mother was out in
I
the.
thought it was her mother came, like, yeah, through the field to
Yep.
Madame Eva.
Madam
Nah,
Eva, yes.
That is born in it.
Did
I
you see
didn't
the
think
way
she
she
said
looked at me when she said "good people"?
she did look at you. That's very true. That's very observant of a Yakubachi.
That's why he's a good
Gives him
hunter.
a Scooby stick. Good observational skills. Um,
Whatever it takes to keep that perception trait up.
oh boy. I feel like we need to get over a newspaper to be reading at all these conversations.
We could just keep lowering it and looking at people
Uh-huh.
disappointingly.
Just be like, just constantly just having just like a cup of water.
Spit it out all the time.
I think Irvir would want to address the trauma dumping, but I don't think he knows what to say because that was kind of a lot really suddenly, and then we kind of moved on pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I was able to just spiel what I had to, though, and we kind of just went from there.
Now's probably not the time he wants to talk about it. He probably need to, mostly because like that is a lot. I have to process that so that
Yeah.
Irvir could process it.
There
Yeah.
will probably be a moment here too. I don't think conversation with Danica will take the rest of the session. And like I said, we're gonna have to start with tomorrow morning, one way or the other. It's a whole thing. So, but yeah, after a few moments kind of go by, you'd hear footsteps on the outside little walkway and a slight knock at the door before Irina just lets herself in. But she was letting you know, hey, coming in. And Danica is with her. And I think that you can tell she's slightly on edge. Irina probably hasn't told her what the deal is yet, but she kind of comes in and has her a bit crossed, kind of hugging herself a bit. Looks uneasy, but she'll lean against the door and kind of quirk an eyebrow, look around the room, and Irina will just say, "Danica, um, I guess there's not really any way to say this other than this is going to be a lot, but please do hear them out. There are things going on in this city that I think even you might not be aware of, and, well, these outsiders may have an unconventional solution to the problems that Valaki faces.
You may want to sit down.
And Irina will gesture for her to kind of take a seat at the table, and she will. And actually, she will pull out a little flask and unscrew the top with one hand, take a small swig, and set it on the edge of the table. Uh, God damn it.
I'll see the rest of the party in my study.
Um, but yeah, Danica will kind of look around at you, and whether or not it may be a lot, as Irina says, suffice to say, I've heard whispers of what all of you have already done for both our city and our Church of the Morning Lord. And, well, I don't think you would have done those things if you weren't good people. So,
What about the Church of the Morning Lord? We
she,
didn't tell anybody.
suffice to say, there's very little that happens in this town that I'm not aware of. And if we are showing our hands, as it were, yours first, darling. She just like slow eyebrow raise, slow head turns, and Ayakobachi. And Irina, like, through a half face palm like this. I don't think that's quite what she meant.
Sorry.
But yeah, the floor is yours, or it might be. Narlug, you're the unmuted one.
Mm.
Put that
So
roguish charisma to good use.
yeah, that what's my charisma score at?
8, I
That
think.
whopping 8. That whopping 8 charisma. So the idea is to rid both of them from power. Though it will
You're gonna
not be an
back
immediate.
up. Who's them
Yeah.
and why?
Yeah. Both the families, the Walkers and what's the other one's name?
The Valakoviches.
The Valakoviches. Yeah, one of them bitches. Yeah.
One of the bitches.
um, we plan to slow roll it by forging some documents that implicate that the Burgomaster is working with vampires.
Eyebrows go up and like a slow.
Right.
Okay.
Narlug's gonna look at the rest of the party like, do we want to inform her of that we already have this evidence, just not so quite implicative?
Let's back up just a little bit. So, if you already know everything that goes on in the city, you already know that we've dispatched of quite a few vampires here.
She nods.
Someone within the city was conspiring with, one can only assume, is Strahd. At some point through the chain. Now,
Not a lot of other sources of vampires. You're right.
I hope not. And Lady Wachter, Robin, do you want to take Lady Wachter?
Um, oh, just like explain all the things that I figured
The
out about her.
prophecy, all the things you figured out about her asking us to kill the Burgomaster.
Yeah, so the whole thing with because she was I guess just reiterating like the whole my idea of like her when she said like sacrifices must be made though, and
Hmm.
mainly just pointing out to her just having infernal ties, so has the imp too, so you know that she needed to make a pact with in order to get it too though. And then her daughter just happened to die at a very young age though, which seemed also people seem suspicious of as well too. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
pretty suspicious of it, so what
She would
also
kind of nod along.
She would intend for us to start a coup tomorrow during the festival, but we
yeah,
were able
she
to convince her that that would be very unwise due to unforeseen loss of life.
yeah, that
So, the plan then was to perhaps forge or create some documents that implicate the Baron in the recent vampire hive. Which to say that honestly, I was kind of coming around to him needing to die anyway. It's very clear that the scales of life and death are not balanced in this town, and we had to walk past the town square on our way back. And I can only imagine that that's just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm afraid to say you would be correct.
So that said, he also needs to go. But That's going to leave a very big vacuum of power in the city.
We don't want walkers to
And,
be in power either.
and who could the people look to in a time of need?
She makes eye contact with you.
Where do the people find comfort? Who is a voice among the people?
She will, kind of like a snatching motion, grab the flask, give you a 1 second gesture, down pretty much the entire thing in one go, and clank it back on the table. Give me just a moment. Firstly, let me head that line of thinking at least as far as our particular branch of the family goes, off at the pass. Yes, many here consider our doors just as open to them as their own homes. And I have no doubt, given the immense number of children that Erwin and I have been named godparents of, that most of the town would look fondly upon us stepping into that role. But for reasons that I'd rather not go into at the moment, our position here at the inn is quite important. And, as I have no doubt Irene would have already mentioned to you, Irina nods, we are not technically eligible, given that we are not landed gentry. I will say, though I could not promise his cooperation, that through a technicality of the family, my uncle, Davian Martikov, the one that is responsible for running the Wizard of Wines, the winery, is through distant marriage and relation considered to be far down the line of succession, but a nobleman, given that his sister married into the Kreskov family. You know of Kresk as a town. That is where the abbey. It is possible, and knowing Davian, I would even say likely that he would be willing to step into that role. And the townsfolk are fond of him as well. It's rare to see him these years, but he used to bring the wine shipments himself, and just as happy as they are to see it here, they were once as happy to watch it roll through the gates. And he was fond of bringing gifts for the children as well. But while I am honored, as I say, Erwin and I cannot fulfill that role. Secondly,
Well,
I don't disagree with any of your assessment that both Vargas and Fiona need to go. They've been a blight on the city for quite some time. But, well, there's never really been anyone willing to ensure that, well, they were stopped, I suppose one could say. And
I mean, you've talked to a lot of different people too, though. Would there be anybody that you would know that would be good candidates for being a replacement Master? Not
there
necessarily,
are,
not necessarily you, but if you would, you seem to know a lot of people that come and go through here, though.
she nods, there are certainly several for us with the administration of the town. I'm simply saying that Well, there are laws in Barovia that run deeper than the parchment they're written on. While the small folk might accept someone, I have extremely little faith that Strahd von Zarevich would allow a non-noble villages. That is what concerns me. And something that you may not be aware of, whether or not the townsfolk tithe to the current burgomaster, the burgomaster must tithe on Valaki's behalf to the castle. Therefore, direct or indirect, his cold undead fingers extend into the pockets of this city. And I think he might have something to say if those pockets are not ones that align with his value, distasteful as they might be.
Well, we were kinda in his sights anyway. And sooner or later we knew that we'd want to be.
So what you're saying is we gotta take care of Strahd, and that would solve all of our problems.
It would, darling, but you wouldn't even be in the first dozen to try in my life.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we've already encountered him once before, and didn't go great.
Hey, he punched me in the chest.
Irina kind of like side eyes over here. um,
Like it sucked, but it wasn't that bad, you know? I got up.
I got better. Um, look, and Danica, there's like this is a different side of her. You know, she's been nothing but bubbly and smiley, but like there's like an all business kind of expression on her face. I hope you understand. There are reasons that I cannot tell you everything. I would like to, but I simply can't. Suffice it to say, though, that my husband and I have been doing what we can to provide resistance to the current way that the city has been run. You mentioned the stocks. We do our best through subtle means to ensure that anyone imprisoned there is fed and given water to drink. We do our best to ease the suffering and sometimes when, and she winces, only absolutely necessary, hurry the passing of those that have been consigned to the re-education camp. But overt action is risky for us to undertake. And I hope you'll understand that it is not just for the sake of my husband and my young children that I do not wish to expose us, but for the sake of everybody who considers tavern its own kind of sanctuary. We are important to the small folk, and I think that it's important that we remain such in the way that we currently are. Do you understand?
If Davian takes over, does that still put your family in Strahd sights?
I think if Davian takes over, there's a small chance that if anything, it helps shield us in a way. You see, the Red Dragon Crush and the Champagne de l'Estampe are basically the only thing that Strahd is willing to drink that isn't blood. The winery already keeps us safe. And if Davian is here, well, I don't think Strahd will act directly against him. He's been dutifully providing the good stuff for years now. If there's such a thing as someone that Strahd feels ingratiated to in any way, it is likely my uncle.
You don't need to convince me any further.
Yeah.
I'm in for Davian then. So I'll level with you. The big reason that we needed to talk to you was because we don't have as good of a feel for the city about how our plans could work out, some of the repercussions that we can't foresee because we are not from here. So, as our current plan goes, it is going to be to kill these people because there is really no other way otherwise. Now, our big three targets that we have: Wachter, Vargas, Ezek. All
He
three will
nods.
die by our hands by the time that we're done. The order of operations is key, though. That's the way I kind of see this whole linchpin. We don't know if Stella's complicit in all of the dealings with the Walkers. So we want to try to buy us some time. If Lady Walker wants to act tomorrow, we are going to buy us some time to at least get us through the day without any blood being shed. That'll give us time to apprise where Stella may be, so we can whisk her away before anything happens in that house or the Burgermaster's mansion. Would you be willing to take Stella for a few days?
He would smile. She certainly wouldn't be the first person that we've helped disappear for a short while.
Excellent.
Yes, she'll have a safe place beneath our eaves, she says, pointing up at the, roof.
How we go
I don't,
about the Walkers? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't want you to think that I'm against any of this in theory or in practice. There are bits of support that we are willing to provide, and I will do so happily. Um,
Giving us a head and
information,
taking Stella is more than we can ask.
information is our trade. And, well, I'll give you one for free. You're wondering if Stella is complicit in all of this. By everything that I know, she is not. She's never been anything but a bright-eyed and, well, I suppose one could say innocent girl. She's never shown any sign of the cold streak that her brothers do. And Lady Wachter keeps her isolated from even the smallest inconvenience, much less anything so awful as you're suggesting that she's been complicit in. We suspected she must be doing something untoward, and we've been watching for months now. She's held secret meetings in her basement many nights of the week, attendees in ever-growing numbers. They all arrive hooded, but we're aware of who some of them are. We knew there must be some sort of conspiracy, but we haven't been willing to risk getting too close. So if it is one of an infernal nature, yes, I think I'm in agreement that Stella must be removed from that situation, and Lady Mokta must go swiftly thereafter. If I might make a suggestion, you ask about how I think the currents within the populace will flow. If you wish these three dominoes to fall with the least resistance, well, I would topple Isekstrani first. if he is to be killed in a way that would implicate Lady Wachter or her son, you might be able to get the Baron to strike against him against her without even a second thought. He sees Isaac as a son and will undoubtedly take his ghastly revenge. As for Stella, she could be made to disappear with a bit of assistance from some of my other close friends. Perhaps in the ensuing chaos, when his guards go up to Lady Wachter's door and demand she give herself up. Something tells me they won't be watching the second-story windows.
So you could pick her up as like a spider.
Something like that, yes.
Kind of make like a web rope for her to climb down the window.
She just,
Rapunzel.
how horrifying. But yeah, she would just kind of smile curtly, but not elaborate.
The wolf spider's webbing isn't very strong. We'd probably just bring a rope or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's not as fun.
Mhm.
Trust me, I want to do it too, but I've tried and it doesn't work very well.
Uh,
Right, it's like wolf spider web, not actual web.
Right.
Yeah.
Cobwebs, not proper spider silk. Anyway, all that leaves you with is the Baron. Burgomaster. Stupid DM keeps getting that word wrong.
It's
All
a
that leaves
feedback
you with
loop
is,
now. We
right,
could just all keep doing it.
well, I'll keep doing it. Um, but if the Burgomaster is all that's left, well, certainly easy enough to be dealt with.
Quite so.
Sounds like the hard part's just gonna be dealing with Isaac.
does Sakabachi have speak with animals?
I could,
That's the
but
wonderful thing
also,
about druids.
yeah. I also,
All he needs is a nap.
if it's any animal, beast, I can speak with them all. I don't need a spell. I'm gifted from
Cause
Malar.
you got them big dogs, so it would be a real shame if those dogs just turned on them.
Ah, interesting.
That's kind of a good idea. If you could convince the dogs. I mean, he's probably keeping them nice and fat and happy and warm, so I don't know, but maybe not.
Let's see. So you have a minimum of 7 people that you need to kill, and in this scenario, if you play it right, you kill 1.
Yeah, we're backstabbing like 20 people.
Clever.
This type of shit I like.
Political intrigue. Um,
Is that would be a domino effect? I like this.
and yeah, Irina's just been kind of listening, and she's watching Danica this whole time, like, has not seen this side of her clearly. But she nods along, and if there's anyone in Valaki I trust to understand how the public will react, it would be Danica. And I have to admit, it's a... God damn it. Internet, can you hear me again? Yes.
Yep.
It's a
Yep, you're good.
fiendishly efficient plan. Uh, she says, seemingly trying to make a pun. Um, I think... Well, Isaac shouldn't be too difficult to isolate. You did say he had some sort of...
We have the best mate we could possibly have.
Yes. She shakes her head. Could we talk to Blinksy at some point and find out what...
Oh, I
We
forgot.
have some time tonight.
Yeah, it's roughly what, like 3-4 p.m.
Yeah, by now it's probably like 4:30. At least then we'll have an idea of what even he's doing with them.
Do you really want to know the answer to that? One
No,
of his
but
arms is much stronger than the other one.
like fucking Quagmire in the episode where he discovers porn.
It's Tryndamere, bro.
Yeah. All I was thinking that was that if we had an idea of why, we might be able to use that knowledge bait. Uh, Perhaps tell him there's another one that he just has to add to his collection. And if he were to run into me on that trip, she kind of winces. It's something.
Possibly.
I will admit I'm very for the idea of killing Isak first, but I will say it'll be difficult for me not to, mutilate his body and and I'll look at Ralmir and be like, return his offer his body to Malar. I do seek his paw. I will cut it off and keep it, but if it's part of a plan, maybe we can, do it later.
We are about to implicate the Wachters in that killing, whom we are also accusing of infernal dealings, and we have pretty much confirmation of infernal dealings. I don't think they'd question a hand going missing too much. Although, what would you do with it?
I do the same I do with all the things I hunt, and he'll just like take out this like necklace, and you can see all these like little paws of different animals he's killed, and the symbol of Malar is a paw clenched, so they've all just become symbols of Malar, and that will be another symbol.
Are you
Another
gonna make it a belt buckle?
make it into whatever I
Ma-
can.
make a whole belt
Belt for Malar.
of hands, or like a oh
Ooh,
you
Like a
could like
like a
it could be the
Texas
holster
style
for.
belt buckle.
Yeah.
or you can make a like an ammo belt though for all of his like arrows.
Right, it could be the
There you
quiver
go.
for his arrows.
Right.
But it's a hand, right? So you have to like have it so that it grabs the other end of the belt. Like that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
buckle.
There you go.
Oh, like a cloak brooch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will
Or
say
it
the
could be
way
a cup.
when I do get into one of my animal-like lusts, I it does look like they've been shredded apart like a demon, so or an infernal devil, or whatever she is. His innards being his outards, and his body being pretty much being
His innards
deformed.
being his outers.
I don't love the image, but in this case, it may work out for the best. In this singular
Mhm.
instance.
It's
And
funny.
likely never again. But this one time, it'll be for the best.
How about this? Danica says. It seems now that we have a plan, and there may not be much time to enact it. But if you're willing to let things simmer for a day or two, if you tell Lady Walker that you're working on it, she must be patient. The festival goes off tomorrow with no more than the normal amount of misery. We can request aid of skilled swords to escort a shipment of wine to town. You can go speak to Davian and see if he will take you up on this offer, and hopefully bring him back with you. If you do, we can move on to the next steps. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. I'm gonna try to help persuade him, I suppose.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, I like it. We're gonna
We'll
lie
have
to
to
Wachter
make-
about the ring to buy some time.
We'll need Romir to create at least a sample of the forgeries, and we can bring those just a show of good faith that we're working on it.
Yeah.
And that'll also give us time tonight to
I
investigate.
do have 10 sheets of parchment for him to practice on.
So, it's like so. Do you want me to use like the roll on the forgery kit for?
Yes, if you're going to do that now, sure, but that will take you a little bit of time. Did you want to go talk to Blinksy before you guys move on, or do you want to talk to him later? Doesn't much matter, but just so you know, it'll take you probably at least an hour or two to start scraping together even like yeah, we've got the beginnings of this, but it's going to take a little time. You are working like with an old school quill and inkwell after all. It's a lot slower to write anything than it is just with a pen.
Facts. Literally says quill,
Yep.
bottle of black ink, and parchment.
Not to mention all of the fancy calligraphy you have to do in document.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I suppose it depends on if you wanted to go speak to Mr. Blinksy
Our shop's probably
or
not open all night.
exactly
Probably should get there before it gets too late.
today or tomorrow or now or options I guess I'm presenting.
Tomorrow, after the festival, it sounds like we're not going to be staying in town very long, so.
Hmm. Very well. I will send word to Davian that he should expect visitors. And I will be oblique, but make it clear that your proposal has my blessing. And we can see what we can do about a plan to make sure that in all of this, Stella is secreted away at the right moment. Um, and she will stand up, put the cap back on her flask, and tuck it back into the inner pocket where it was. I hope you won't take me treating this as a well, as the deadly serious business that it is, as a negative thing. In fact, if anything, this probably colors my impression of you more positively in the end. But, and she smiles, to tip at least some of my cards in your direction. When one makes their keep as a bit of a spy master, it is important that you take these things seriously. My bubbly exterior that you see down below is only part of who I am. I hope you'll understand that going forward, that'll be the face you see again.
When it's time to talk business, it's time to talk business.
She
We
nods.
can dispense with some of the pleasantries when the cards are down like that.
She
No hard
nods.
feelings here.
Excellent.
And
And
I
like
thank
a
you for your assistance.
But of course, anything for this city and her people. And like the flicking of a switch, the bubbly, tavern keeper is back. Ah, I'll take away those dishes for you, and if there's
Yeah,
anything
Narlog's
else you
bowl is
need,
definitely
just
empty.
let me know. Yeah. She will clear up everything from lunch, and with a little nod, and somehow balancing like stuff in one hand while she turns the latch on the door. Good luck to you all, and we'll see herself back out.
She wanted to kill Ezek first. I like her.
I told you she was a good woman.
She
He's married.
Um, yes, you can't hit that one over the head with a stick. I don't think Owen would be too happy about it.
I respect it.
And if I recall, he's the cook.
He
A
is.
fantastic one at that.
Mhm.
And so you don't want to piss him off.
Yeah, maybe we should try to.
Otherwise, you're
Call
gonna
Pip.
find out if he can make orc chili.
Yeah, Scott Tenorman's mom.
It is the best with the human fingers in it.
Gonna fried green tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. This bitch. All right. Uh, so you guys will head off to go talk to Mr. Blinksy for a bit, right?
Yes, we are going real doll shopping.
Mm-hmm.
50 pounds of pussy and ass.
God damn it.
We even brought the model with.
So conveniently, Blinksy's shop is right here.
Oh, look at that. Perfect.
And so it's not a long walk. You kind of stroll out across the street and just kind of wind your way down that little side road. Um, and you come to a block of mostly residential buildings, but this is an obvious, sort of like the coffin maker shop, store below, apartment above. This cramped shop has a dark entrance portico, above which hangs a wooden sign shaped like a rocking horse with a B engraved on both sides. Flanking the entrance are two arched lead-framed windows. Excuse me. Through the dirty glass, you see jumbled displays of toys and hanging placards bearing the slogan, "Is no fun, is no Blinksy."
Hmm.
Must be a handout of this man. Because he's great. Hang on. But yeah, it's a shop, so you can just walk in.
Oh, this one's not locked?
Nope.
This guy's way better than the coffin maker already.
Probably still polite, so knock on the door and then open it up.
Sure.
Or if you'll hold
Uh,
the door for everyone.
And
Uh,
as the door kind of swings open, there's like a little bell that goes off. Um, and there's nobody immediately visible walking the shop, which, kind of dimly lit like every is. Let's have a number um, kind of lit to keep the room reasonably bright so people can see the wares. And as you kind of glance around at this incredible assortment of slightly deranged dolls, we'll get to that in a moment. There's a kind of uh, uh, Blinksy is coming from the back of the shop, and out walks this gentleman. He's kind of a big, heavy-set guy dressed in a full jester's
Ooh!
outfit. Little
Ooh!
bells on the end of his hat tinkling
Wait a
as he kind
minute.
of like waddle jogs up to you.
I need to check
Oh.
my notes.
yeah.
This
Wait,
guy's
wait,
definitely in the notes.
He's
Yes,
in
there,
the. He's
there
in the
is a
shirt.
monkey on his shoulder that kind of like holds onto the side of his hat and actually is currently sucking its thumb. But he just like kind of waddle runs out to the front of the shop and he pulls out a little wooden card from his pocket and you can see him reading from it as he says, uh, "Welcome, friends, to the House of Blinksy, where happiness and smiles can be bought at bargain prices. Perhaps you know a little child in need of joy? A little toy for girl or boy?" And kind of like, yeah, ta-da, no, kind of sighs and puts the card back away.
It's Piccolo the monkey.
Yes.
I am going to completely ignore fuck, I was gonna call him Bigsby.
Blinksy.
Blinksy.
Blinksy, and I'm gonna speak to his monkey and just be like, "I've never seen anything like you before. It's nice to meet you." And I'll say it in Sylvan.
Okay. Uh, I think like the monkey, like seeing you talk to it, is just like, "Hmm?" And kind of listens and looks at you, and you can see it look at your ears. And remember, they're not super smart. Animals do have a low int score.
Mm-hmm.
You are familiar, but not familiar.
And then I will turn to him and I'll say, if I can look it up because I don't know the actual name. Oh Jesus Christ!
What are you looking for?
Cercopatheaceide. Very rare, unique animal to have.
Oh, there you go. So what? Uh, oh, you mean Piccolo? Uh, yes. He is Blinks's good friend. Um, and he will like offer his finger, and the monkey reaches down and he kind of like shakes his hand. It's good, good, and he like feeds him a little dried bit of fruit or something.
Say his name was Piccolo.
Piccolo. Yes.
If this dude doesn't shoot a special beam cannon at some point,
Oh
Dude,
man,
he's our fated ally. It's the monkey all along. He's
We're
gonna bring down a special
right.
beam cannon
Plot twist.
Strahd.
he is more than he seems.
Um,
And I'll just say like, well, if this little one trusts you, I trust you. And I'll just start walking around the shop and looking at stuff.
fair enough.
Um,
And as please, do look. Blinksy has many fine toys available. Let Blinksy know if there are questions. And as you kind of like move, he gets a better look at Irina, and there's like a
okay. I have a question for
Gnarly's
Blixie.
gonna look around for club toys.
okay.
And then I'm just gonna just ask him, why is the monkey's name is Piccolo? If there's
Oh,
any particular reason, or if he knows, or if he's musically inclined.
ah, Blinksy is sorry, but no, Piccolo is not a musician. Unless you count banging blocks of wood together. He's very good at that. But Blinksy is not sure where Piccolo got his name. That is the name he had when he came to Blinksy.
Okay.
It was a gift.
You guess like out of like out of character question though. I was just trying to
Mhm.
see if he was like if Blixie had like any like bard traits to him though, since Piccolo's a flute.
Ah, I see, I see. Um, mm, he seems. Go ahead and give me an insight, I guess. Sure. Let's
Okay.
let's make it a roll.
That monkey's actually from the demon world.
Fair enough. Oh no, not for the monkey, but for him. You're just trying to take a measure of this guy, and well, turns out it's not much of a DC because this guy appears to be just kind of a commoner. He's an artisan, if anything, but you watch him, and while there's definite skill that must be in his hands, given the state of the carvings around this shop, he doesn't move with any real dexterity or quickness, and he's kind of too awkward and has some little nervous tics to really be much of a speaker or performer. You don't get the feeling this guy is like an adventurer of any sort. He's just a guy that likes to carve toys.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if or if he was like an instrument maker or something like that. Just since it's a toy maker though, don't know if he like made
That's true.
instruments too. So
No,
just trying to
it's
figure
not
out
a
more,
bad thought.
trying to
Yeah.
figure out more about him or anything like that, since we don't have like a bard in our group. So that
Yeah.
would be more inclined to do. Because obviously I don't really have
No, it's
any.
not a bad thought.
Bro's got two half casters right here, and he's like, "We could use a bard."
Look, the
Motherfucker,
more half casters you wedge together,
we're almost a
the
full
more full
cast.
casters you can make.
And
We're like,
Gnarly's just like, huh? Full caster, huh?
Also, wait a second. You have 3 full casters and a non-caster. There are no half
Oh,
casters
our
in this
druids full
party.
casters.
Yes.
Well,
Um,
no, just me. I'm the
but
only
yeah, he
non.
did say Piccolo is a gift.
Okay.
But
what a monkey to give away.
as he looks Irina over, there's like a thinks he feels like he knows you, but maybe not. And he casts his glance to the side, and there is another doll that looks very much like Irina sitting in the window with a "Not for Sale" placard next to it. Uh, Blinksy is seeing things. And he turns to look at Norlook. You are looking for dolls that have clubs.
Yep.
There are 2 hand puppets. Like you know, put your hands up inside of them. They have like a wooden movable jaw, and then like a little body and little arms to control with your thumb and pinky. But yes, there are 2 little like ogre-looking dolls that each have a big dumb club like sewed to their right hand. You get the feeling you could have a bonk back and forth for a puppet show if you wanted. They are priced at 9 copper pieces for the set. There are also a number of other creepy things around. There's a headless doll that comes with a stack of like swappable heads, including one that has no eyes at all, one that's missing its lower jaw, and blood like paint running down the rest of it, and one with its eyes and mouth stitched shut. There's also a miniature gallows, complete with a trap door and a weighted hanged man. Um, there is a wooden and string mobile of bats that flap when it spins. A wind-up musical merry-go-round, figures of snarling wolves chasing children. And a ventriloquist dummy that looks like Strahd von Zarevich as well. But yeah, he seems kind of nervous as you peruse his wares, but please, please, if you have any questions or even special orders, Blinksy is happy to facilitate.
Hmm.
Mike, what?
It's taking all I have to that. Immediately go to the Strahd ventriloquist doll.
I mean, Ralmir has heard Strahd talk. He could do a great show.
Bro, we could make so much money off of this.
I'm also just picturing the fucking count from Sesame Street.
That is what it
Yeah.
became when Andrew's character bought the doll and was doing Strahd impressions with it the whole time. He also punched Strahd in the face with it as a boxing glove at one point.
Hell yeah.
Oh. Hmm.
I'm gonna ask him about the one that's I got a not for sale sign in the window. What's
Uh,
has this been purchased or?
yes, Blinksy, as Blinksy says, takes special orders, and that one is from a very dedicated patron, and I'm afraid has already been paid for. And he looks at Irina again, like he's weirded out by this. Like you could see him looking between her and the doll. If you would like one very similar, Blinksy can make more. It simply takes a little bit of time. Only the 9 silver.
Okay. I want to do an or I don't know if I would do like an investigation check though, but I'm gonna look around at for like all the things though to see if it could be find something though that can help us take out Ezek.
Okay. Well,
Or if
you
there's
know
any.
he's
Broad question.
right. You know he's probably at least looking for the doll. I can give you that. Just without a roll. But go ahead and yeah, roll it.
Or
Sure.
if there was something that something not, or since it is a toy though, like something that could possibly cause like an accident too, that could
Oh, okay,
be
okay.
be like lethal though. So trying to
This
get
toy
like a
has small parts. Keep away
It's
from
the
small
Kurt
children.
rig.
yeah, or maybe like something that could possibly trip and
Hmm.
hurt himself, or something that could just cause a lot of harm to him though. But that to the untrained eye though, nobody would really suspect anything.
And then he ends up mutilated.
16. Okay. Hmm.
Like a doll with a pull switch that shoots a poison dart out of its mouth.
Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
Well, to that note, I mean, you don't know what he would be buying here other than the Irina's doll, but you are a rogue. You know that there's such a thing as contact poisons. You could probably dose the doll. The other things in here, like, yeah, sure, that miniature gallows actually, holy shit, that has a real blade, you realize as you look closer at it. That would certainly suck to have fingers in, but you don't really see anything that would horribly maul Ezek. But as you're kind of casting around looking closely at stuff in here, what you do catch is there is a little, like kind of partly unrolled flyer, I think like a small, tiny poster, behind the counter. And it is for Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders, the carnival wagon that you saw at the Arasek stockyard. And next to it is a little pouch laying open and with obvious little monkey footprints in the dust leading up to it on the counter, that is similarly not branded like that, but it's like partly red and blue and yellow and very like festive looking, and it is full of little dried fruit that he just fed the monkey. Maybe drawing a connection to that's where he got it. But as far as Ezek, you'd probably just have to like poison the doll or stuff it full of poison needles, or that's really all you can come up with. There's not much here.
Okay.
Or
But yeah, you know, you can see this guy is, you know, he's smiley and anxious and please pick up and play. Blue makes things to bring happiness to. They are toys after all.
Arby's gonna look at Irina and pointedly not say her name.
Mm-hmm.
And nod towards the doll and ask her if she wants one. And laugh.
No, I think I'm all right. It really is an unsettling likeness. She kind of like shivers. And she like turns slightly to the side and she opens it up. And the outer doll's like a cute little baby. The inner one's slightly older. She opens that one up and older and older and older and and then it's like the last one, teeny tiny thing, is just like a shriveled, and she just goes, ugh, and kind of puts it all back together and sets it down.
Oh my god, you could put a glyph of warding on every Matryoshka doll.
I prepared explosive runes this morning.
Like,
Also, is there like, since it says like toys though, is there like puzzle toys?
Yeah, there are a couple things here. Like you could
nah,
find.
open the box. We are in Barovia. That is too far.
You could certainly find like some little wooden, you know, puzzle boxes, and like there's a jigsaw or two as well.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not looking for a laminate configuration, but like just something.
Cenobites are too far. We got one vampire already.
Right.
um,
Oh,
no,
good. You know, none of that. But he is selling the Millennium. You know,
Oh,
a
the
little bit of
Pharaoh.
Yu-Gi-Oh action. You could beat Strahd in a duel. The game of
There you
kings.
go.
You know.
Damn, a Millennium Eye that had Detect Good and Evil on it. Sick as fuck.
That would be pretty sick. But yeah, you know, he's hoping to make a
mainly
sale. You can see.
because like if we could like just gift Ezek like a puzzle though, and he could get distracted on it, then we could sneak up and
Whack him in the back of the head.
Listen,
Yeah.
strike you as the puzzle type.
maybe you never know with people, you know.
He seems like the type that would get frustrated and burn it.
Probably.
Bro's doing
It's
jigsaw
just-
puzzles with Irina dolls.
Right.
Talking to him while he fills it out.
You know that man owns a tiny porcelain tea set. There's no way he doesn't. But yeah, I guess Blinksy kind of is hoping someone will buy stuff. But here's the inventory list.
Okay, yeah, I guess that'd be useful though. Just a list of what he has in the shop.
Yeah.
Where are we at on ball in a cup?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean
and
that.
I missed the ogres. I want that copy. Ogres, I'll just type it out. Ogres to the Wooden Bloodstone and
They remind you of home, Darlug.
Very much. Narlug already has an idea for a custom order he wants to put in, but he's gonna wait till after we talk to Blinksy about our plan.
I
he wants
don't
a
think we're talking to Blinksy about our plan.
he wants a Narlug puppet with a club.
A big club.
Well,
I mean, a wood string, string mobile of hanging bats with flapping wings.
Isn't the intent to get
Okay.
him to
Honestly, I'm
get Ezek to come get the doll, and then we intercept Ezek on
No.
his way?
Well, that could be a plan. The idea was to figure out what the fuck is happening with the dolls and try to use that as bait somehow. Or
Yeah.
possible we intercept him on the way, but
Yeah, either way.
it's pretty close to the main street.
It is. This is a pretty public area.
what's the ratio to like silver to copper?
10 to 1.
Yeah, 10 copper to 1 silver.
Okay.
Well, it could
You're
always
not buying
just
the Strahd
find.
puppet. I'm buying the Strahd puppet.
Hell yeah. There's
Oh, no,
always
yeah.
gonna be
So
a mischievous little critter who steals the doll, forcing Ezek to chase him and get into some
okay,
maybe
so if it's
That is
10,
unfortunate
true.
situation.
Got to implicate the walkers killing Ezek.
Yeah, we kill him and leave evidence behind.
Or
Pinch
Ralmir
yourself
can
for
just
here.
look like him.
Okay.
Ralmir can just
Walmart
look like a walker.
there.
so yeah, because I'm really debating on because I want to buy both the puppets. I want to buy the ogre puppets and the Strahd puppet. Feel like there's a.
Well,
Oh, we
Narlug's
can-
going to talk about his custom order.
Yes, yes. What can Blinksy do for you?
Are you able to make a puppet that looks sort of like me, but the club is bigger? I'm a strong fellow, so the club could be as massive as you can make it.
You can see him thinking, Blinksy can do this. Yes, yes. We're thinking like big club or like big club.
Big club.
He flips open a little like notebook and charcoal pencil and starts taking notes.
And Narlug will hold up his hand. See how strong my thumb is?
And he'll like lean forward and take your thumb and kind of like, oh yes, yeah, very strong. And kind of like, back to those strong thumb underscore. Big teeth, it's kind of like taking notes. And at some point he like kind of folds the book up, stashes it away, and you can see him like kind of like trying to like take mental note of your face. Blinksy can do this. Normal price for custom be 9 silver pieces. Big club. Let's extra wood, maybe 1 gold piece.
Sounds good to me. And he'll flick a gold piece at him.
Oh, like again, like goes to catch it and kind of like fumbles it, and the monkey grabs it out of the air. Piccolo takes the gold coin and trades him a piece of dried fruit for it and tucks it away into a pouch. Excellent. Blinksy will need maybe 2 days to do this. Woodworking, it takes time, but we'll promise. Puppet that looks like you with big club.
Great. We'll be here for a couple days, so I'll be back in 2 days.
I also have an. I'll walk
2
up and
days. Yes.
I'll walk up and slam my hand on the desk and be like, "Your inventory is absolutely grotesque and terrifying. I love it."
Blinksy kind of like he has a big smile and Blinksy is aim more for fun and happy time, but thank you.
I also have a custom order, and I'll take out a gold piece and I'll just hand it to the monkey. I won't even give it to him, and I'll be like, "I want. What's the human word? Have you ever seen a lion before, or like a tiger?"
Yes, big cat. Yeah.
Yes. I want a smaller doll version of a red lion. And here, use this, and he'll reach in his bag, he'll reach in like his backpack and take out like a lot of black hair. Don't ask where he got it. And he's gonna put it down and says, "Use this for the mane. Make sure the eyes are as black as night and the teeth are very terrifying. Red
Okay.
fur all over."
1 second. Just taking notes, so I know what my NPCs are working on.
In fact, I take it more back. It's more like red fur on the face, black fur on the body.
Red fur on face, black fur on body. Okay. Yes, yeah, Blinksy can do this. Strange you ask about lion. Blinksy only meet lion first time recently. Yes, no problem. And you already paid Piccolo, I see. Give me the silly monkey.
And I'll say to
And
Piccolo
wait a minute.
and Sylvan, I'll be like, "Keep the change."
Uh, and Piccolo will just say, let's see. Big man trades coins for sweets. You have more coins? Hoping you'll pay the monkey more so that he'll has to get the coin from him, you know.
I only have 4.
Oh. It was kind of like sad noise.
I will do everything in my
Okay.
power to bring you more, my furry friend.
Yes, more please. A little like monkey smile and nod. But yeah, okay. Blinksy has 2 custom orders.
I'm not doing a custom order though, but I want to buy the Strahd dummy.
Okay. You'll have to share Ervir. So
You get
9
out west
silver is just under 1 gold. So,
Uh,
Blinksy made that. Oh, I see.
Almost like a plushie
Interesting.
version, like a plushie of that.
Yeah. Blinksy made that one maybe a questionable decision. Don't want to upset the devil and all of that, but I think it's good work. Blinksy is happy it caught your eye.
I mean,
Blinksy almost said eye. Blinksy know you.
I definitely want to use this Strahd dummy though for propaganda purposes. Do like propaganda puppet shows though to get people to potentially revolt against him.
Are you
Try-
saying that in character, or are you just telling us?
I'm just telling us though, that,
Okay.
like kind of more like not end
Mhm.
character, they're just plans for it though, and we
Yeah.
could probably use the custom dummy that Narlog is using.
Ah, that is true. Smart. Well, if you will take this ventriloquist dummy from Blinksy, price 9 silver, but with so many purchases going on and how nice you are to Piccolo, we can make it 8 silver.
No, works for me.
Uh,
What about how about 7?
oh, let's see. We're rolling off, huh? Oh, 11 on the die. Blinksy is already cutting you a deal,
Okay.
and
Okay. I figure. Okay. We'll keep keep it at the 8 though.
uh, no offense, friend. Blinksy must simply have enough to feed two
You
mouths now.
you are yes, you do have a family.
He kind of scratches
He's
Piccolo behind
with
the ears.
child.
And as you hand over the coins, makes like little grabby hands for them, and kind of like make sure he gets the coins first, but he will give him one piece of fruit anyway.
Get a lot
Um,
of lions in Barovia.
no, this was new creature, uh, but the funny man, Rictavio, he's the one that gave me my new friend here. Uh, Actually, no. Gave Blinksy's new friend here. I think it's more proper Blinksy-ish. Um, this man is traveling with very large cat. He said not lion, but leopard, I think. Uh,
Skinny cat.
mm, Blinksy doesn't know if skinny or not for this size cat, but kind of skinny. Black with more black spots.
Black with black spots. No leopard, I know.
Could be in relation to Pantheropodus, but I've never seen one myself. Only read about them.
Want to go look?
Well, we can go take a peek.
Uh, he would just kind of look around. Anything else Blinksy can do for you, or should Blinksy get to work right away on special new toys? Looks like not
I think
much.
you have some satisfied customers.
Blinksy is happy. I let's see what else does he have? Yes, Blinksy is happy. Anytime that Blinksy can make us smile, Blinksy gets to have one too. Please, do come back 2 days. I have at least one done, hopefully both. Maybe we get Piccolo to help a bit. And Blinksy will have gift for you. Make good on our deal. Uh, Thank you for your uh, very generous patronage. And he will offer like a little bow, and as he does, the monkey has to like hold on for for dear life. But the big dangly bits on the jester hat kind of flop forward and jingle, and he stands back up and they kind of flip back behind. Um, Remember, if anybody asks, tell them Blinksy was one who. Yes.
Of course.
And yeah, he'll just kind of with a number of other platitudes just wave and smile and wish you all a good day.
It was a
Uh,
pleasure to meet you. I haven't been in. It's so nice to meet someone new. And Blinksy, have a great day. And I'll walk out.
Wow. Uh, Fucking owned. Yeah. So you all kind of pile out, and I suppose it sounds like you guys want to go take a again at the Airsec Stockyard. Want to wrap fairly soon because it's already a little bit past my bedtime. But yeah, you head your way over there, and as a reminder, it's the end of town. And sure enough, if you did want to take a look, parked at the south end of the stockyard is a sturdy carnival wagon. Its colorful paint peeling off in many places. Faded lettering on the side spells out the words Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders. A heavy padlock secures the back door. Arasek is in his little, like, kind of hangar area dealing with townsfolk. Regular business, but he's occupied. Offers you, like, a little wave as you go by, but, you're free to roam. So, yeah.
I'll just be like, are you here for the festival tomorrow?
No, you're talking to Arasek?
I mean, if we're that close, I was gonna talk to
Oh, yes, of course. Everybody in town, as is required. You'll be there too, I hope. Hate to have guards to have to come and ensure your attendance. And you can see there's like a little bit of pain behind that smile.
you. Yes, we are in a similar predicament. But try to think of it as a pleasant inconvenience.
Ah, yes. A useful frame of mind. Yes, right away. And back to, what. But yeah.
I'm just gonna look around his wagon, see if I can, I'm just gonna be like, well, I'm gonna take a look at what's entertainment we have for tomorrow. Is that what's in there?
Oh, that's a ways away from where he is. You guys have
Okay.
he's dealing. You're like 100 feet past where either he or his wife.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to go walk up to it, nothing's stopping you.
Yeah,
that was Arasek that said hello, right? Not Rick.
Yeah.
Oh, I
No,
totally
not
mix them all up.
Rictavio,
I totally
Arasek.
mix them all up. I do that all the time.
You guys haven't met Rictavio yet.
Yeah.
Gunter Arasek's the owner of the stockyard that you guys dealt with before. He seemed friendly.
Let's get those sweet
yeah.
inks. Yeah, I'll go check it
yeah.
out if Irvir wants to come or whoever else wants to come, and
Yeah,
go just
Irvir
check it
will
out
join
and just look around it while it's well lit from the last time we saw it.
Okay. Yeah. Last you saw, I think, early evening, and right now it's middle of the afternoon. But as you get close to the wagon, kind of like get up near it, like peering around the side, the wagon suddenly lurches, like something big inside has thrown itself against the wall, and you hear cracking and creaking of wood, scraping of metal, and the snarl of something deep and guttural and inhuman. And after you kind of like start back in concern, you lean closer again to see that the sides of the wagon are spattered with dry blood. You also spot an inscription on the wagon's doorframe that reads, I bring you from shadow into the light. Both shadow and light are capitalized.
I want to do an investigation on the blood.
Okay.
That kind of intrigues me. I guess a chance to see, like you said, it was dry blood though, to see like,
Yep.
yeah, just to see like how fresh it is and see if it's if I could like identify possibly if it's like human blood or from an animal too, because doesn't. So
Okay.
and maybe like how the splatters are marked
yeah,
or something.
That's a pretty good roll. So you're looking at the blood, and like it looks as though it's leaked out from between the boards from inside the wagon. And kind of like dripping as though it pooled across the floor inside and kind of oozed out down. Um, and you can tell there's multiple different times that this would have happened, tried in like different ages and whatnot. But to the best of your ability, you can kind of assume it's probably animal blood. It has kind of like a gamey funk to it, that you wouldn't expect if it were from, a human or an elf or an orc or anything like that. Kind of smells like, I don't know, maybe deer meat or something.
Okay.
to you.
Oh, like almost like a
Yeah,
butcher shop,
like
butcher
a
shop.
butcher shop, and whatever is snarling and growling and pacing around in this wagon probably eats meat,
Oh,
is the vibe of what you get,
like a leopard.
like a leopard.
Are there any like holes or any like bars that make it easy to see in there, or is it all just really well tightly knit?
There is not like you can tell there are bars where this would, but currently the way that it is locked, wood sides have covered the bars. But if you're looking to just like take a peek, behind the seat up front, the sliding window that you would normally use to communicate with like a coach driver, just a little like 2-inch high slit, maybe like 8 inches wide.
I'm just going to walk up to it slowly, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, in a sense, to where I'm trying not to say it loudly, but enough for the creature to hear me. Um, Great carnivore, how did you end up in this situation?
Hmm. Interesting.
I wouldn't expect a hunter like you to be in a cage like this.
Let me check an in score real quick. Actually, okay. And to everybody except Ayakobachi, you just hear like kind of a deep rumbling growl. But it's not like threatening. It's just a quiet kind of reply. Um, I was stolen when I was small. And though I am no longer small, this cage is well made. And the man who keeps me in it is clever.
And I'll just say, ah, cowardice to take the youth when it can't defend itself. Do you, great hunter, be patient. Your time will come. And
I look
I'll just try to get a
forward.
peek at it before I walk away.
Sure. Yeah, as you kind of like just a little scooch of the thing. Sure enough, you get the briefest impression of black fur with darker markings on it, and two very large feline eyes, small amount of light that the slit lets in, and as the light hits the pupils, they immediately go knife sharp, vertical slits. But what you're probably not expecting as you catch a look at this thing is that it appears to be dressed in like custom-made plate mail.
Oh, bro's got better armor than I do.
Yes, like somebody literally paid a smith to make leopard plate mail and put it on this thing. Um, and yeah, as you kind of peek, the last thing it has to say to you before it kind of like curls up and goes back to sleep is, I wait, but the coward, he says the feast be soon. And it will curl up and fold its chin on its and close its eyes.
And then I'll go over to the group and let them know, yes, I believe it is a, I believe it is, I'll use the human word, panther. And, and I'll kind of look around me and I'll say, I think our human carnival person, whoever runs this thing, might have some malintent.
Maybe,
But
maybe
just a
not.
hunch. Yeah, I'll fill you on everything you said.
Remember our tarot reading.
no, not Biggs, not the toy maker, the guy who's running this carnival thing.
Remember our tarot reading. This is where he got the monkey. And I don't think our toy maker is going to be a great ally in our war against the undead.
I was thinking that's
But
exactly
someone
what
that
I was
does
thinking.
big
I thought
mail
this
on
guy
the
was be our
Panther
boy.
Could very well be someone that we could make use of.
Well, I won't stop a good hunt. So just letting you
I
know.
mean, what if we lure Ezek in to the wagon?
That's an interesting thought.
And it's like,
It just so
but I don't
happens
know.
that the Isik would find himself, faced with that creature. I'm sure it couldn't hurt.
It would hurt him, but
Yeah. One would think.
Do we get the impression that his arm is so strong that he's just gonna punch a panther out?
oh boy, if we had a guillotine that could cut off a limb.
You mean the dick guillotine?
I
Yeah.
was not going to call it a dick guillotine, but
Oh, like the circumcision thing from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
yes. Yeah. But yes, interesting questions. And Ervir does raise an interesting point. An entertaining man with a monkey could refer to multiple people, but certainly something large, nasty, carnival wagon. Fangs on every side, vampire above, multiple knives in the dark, and, well, very, very, very large teeth. The pot that is Valaki seems about to boil over, but I'm afraid we will have to pick up there in 2 weeks. I'm sorry, guys, with our next session.
No, I try to get some good notes so I can remember in 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
out of character, what you're thinking, Ervir or Mike, is that the guy who gave the monkey is about the prophecy, not the guy with the monkey. I didn't pick up on that. That's actually pretty
Yes.
clever.
Yeah, that I feel
Yeah,
like
that
there
seemed to be
was
what Ervir
enough
was saying.
narration about like this guy is definitely a bumbling buffoon. He is maybe an artisan and has no class levels. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm picking up what
Look,
you're putting down.
I mean, and
Also,
He is
here's
a precious special boy who probably would be really good at pulling steaks, and that's about it. Yes,
hey, that's not a bad idea though. We could keep that in mind.
right. Well, I
Seems to
love
be
Blinksy, though.
Blinsky, he seems like somebody that's easily manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
Probably also that.
That was my takeaway from him.
If we need to manipulate him.
Or easy to
Otherwise, it
put to
sounds like
sleep.
Ezek's just
Or
making
put
a
to
bona
sleep.
fide order all the time.
I could
Well,
level 1 cast that sleep and he'll pass
I was
out.
gonna say I wasn't gonna prepare animal friendship, but now I'm definitely fucking gonna prepare it.
Right? Found a leopard with plate mail.
It's kind of a big deal. I am very disappointed, by the way.
Mm.
Blinksy doesn't even have a stat block.
Okay. Well, I'm down. We'll go make those letters. We'll go lie to
Yep.
the Wachters, and then we'll give a spy some time so that we can
The
maybe
We
figure
should-
out where Stella or not Stella. What is her name? Stella? Where Stella is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Stella walked there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll. I don't think that'll be a tonight thing. That'll be
No.
after we get back from the vineyard, probably.
Yeah, you're probably right. But
Unless,
the fake shit will give us some time.
yeah,
I will stick around and listen
and
for a little bit.
we
but I
should
gotta
make a
start
point
doing the
to-
time shit here.
look for this Rictavio fellow. at
Yeah,
some point,
totally.
which is, you would think Big Carnival Man would fucking stick out, but I don't think we've seen him yet.
No. Yeah, we should definitely go find that guy. For sure. I'm gonna put that in the notes so I remember for next week. Or
Yeah,
next
Not
2
a
weeks.
bad idea.
Ugh. I'm fucking hungry though. I ate some food.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to eat some food myself. I'm getting kind of hungry and probably pass out. So,
Alright, fair enough. Well, thank you for playing, everybody.
Good
I
job,
had
everybody.
Yeah.
Good
fun,
role
as
play.
I always
Thanks
do.
for
Good lore dump.
yeah, yeah,
I do my best.
I trauma dumped.
And I feel like, no, like I said at the time, like, yeah, you did kind of trauma dump, but also that felt very genuine for the character, if that makes
Mhm.
any sense. He doesn't seem like one to just bring that kind of thing up. So, probably would
No,
all kind of come up in a rush like that.
yeah, I mean, I would just say like the trait though is try to keep that hidden though, but not from people I trust. So,
Right.
and it got to that point where it's like, yeah. I don't know how long have we known each other in game though? Like 3 days?
Probably 3 or 4 days.
It's been more like 4, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think 4.
No, we already went through the ringer within the 4 days though.
But
So
also we
that's
got sucked into another existence, so it's like that could have been 2 days, but we didn't know it.
yeah.
Freaking, I
Fair.
mean, I got to, I earned a brother and I got a Malar plushie, so I mean, it's a good set.
Right.
good Malar plushie.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep
That's
with it.
pretty great.
Good lord.
Uh,
And if I had to describe what the image of Malar looks like, because I'm sure he takes many a form, that almost reminds me of like a weird monkey jackal type of thing. Like it's
I was
very,
gonna say, yeah, it's like a monkey panther.
it's like
Is
a,
kind
yeah,
of what
it's definitely
I get
weird.
from that. It is. But I mean, would you expect a god to be just any normal animal?
Exactly, it's gonna be some like ancient fucking shit.
Bro's barely even a real god.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's like a
Whoa.
demigod.
Yeah.
He is like a real god, but yeah, I think there's like
There's a
He's
difference
a
between
lesser
gods
it's
and
not
like
quite called lesser, but yeah, it's like that.
there's like gods, and there's like semi gods.
Yeah, like bro, you don't even have a real portfolio.
Right. All your churches are in a cave and they're fucking disgusting. And you know what I mean?
Wow.
Damn.
I mean, I guess that's not an insult if that's how they want it, right?
Right. There's only like
His-
there's only like one church that's actually a church, and it's like I forget where I read about it. It's fucking super far away and secluded.
Yeah,
his
I'd say that
portfolio
sounds
is
like
literally
something from
only
like
hunt.
right. Hey, there are some deities that are very dedicated like that.
Although he does have in the older editions, he had more to his portfolio. Hunters, marauding beasts and monsters, blood, bloodlust, evil lycanthropes, and stalking.
Roll lycanthropes.
Akabachi nodding along like, yep, that's my boy.
Yep.
It does very specifically specify evil lycanthropes.
Evil lycanthropes.
Is there like good lycanthropes?
Haven't met one yet.
Kellamvor. Kellamvor was a werepanther.
No.
Yeah, he's like
There
he's
are
that's
more
the drow, right?
were-critters than you might realize.
Kellamvor's bloodline was a curse, which is why he became a mercenary. That you could not do a good deed, like without compensation. So he like became a mercenary, like a whole thing. He did Witcher shit basically.
Hell yeah.
Probably fucking wed Witcher, because I assume Kellamvor was an old school fucking player, and ran that shit. So they fucking read Witcher.
Yeah. It's funny how a lot of those things that are big in the lore, like the Circle of Eight, the Wizards Council, are all PCs.
Oh yeah,
Morning Kanan and Tensor and all that. They're actual player characters.
Yeah, I don't know for a fact that Kellamvor was, but his backstory reads
It
like
kind
it
of feels
probably
like
was.
it. Yeah.
Same with the second Mistra.
Yes.
Because actually, Mistra, Kellamvor, and what's that other fucker's name? The evil one.
Oh, you're taxing my lore for this late at night.
He was the god of the dead before Kellamvor.
Yeah.
But they were all in a party, so it sounds like those were just a party of players.
Is it Merkel?
No, it's someone with a C.
I can't remember.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I know Malar specifically hates.
Cyric.
Cyric, yes.
Let's see. What god does he absolutely despise? Be funny if it was Calimbor. No,
It's probably
it's a good god. It
the
hunted
sun
him.
god.
It's a god that hunted fucking Malar and won.
In the past, he was a member of the Gods of Fury led by Talos,
Mhm.
becoming an exarch of Sylvanas after the Spell Plague.
Sylvanas Windrunner.
Well, I ain't saying Sylvanas.
Anus.
Damn.
Held a long-standing alliance with Lolth.
Ah, that's a gnarly one.
In case there was any question that he was maybe not a very cool guy. And other dark deities like Abaddon and Loviatar.
Gotta love a little bit of evil portfolio action, you know?
He hated Nobanion for defeating him in a battle during the time of troubles.
There you go. I think that might be it. I also see one about.
I did a
Okay.
lot of deity research to prep my character.
Hey, if you're gonna play a cleric, you might as well, right?
There's a lot of this pantheon to learn, man.
There was a time when I knew most of the Greyhawk stuff like that, but yeah, that was years and years and years ago. But I was also playing a cleric at the time, so I did my homework.
I just find this image hilarious. I'm sure you're looking at it, Mike. It's like the necklace, like I was talking about, but it's a bear's fucking hand. So it's like, how the fuck do you wear that? It's fucking huge. It's like a Flavor Flav clock hanging off your shit.
Right?
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make a hand off. I was like, how the fuck are you gonna wear that? Because when you're describing this necklace of paws, it's like, I'm imagining it's not just rabbit's feet.
Right? I was imagining that maybe like because of some ritual it'll shrink down, almost like some voodoo
That's
shit.
that's also what I was picturing, like shrunken
Oh.
heads.
Yeah.
Like sacrificing it to Malar, doing the ritual, and then it like becomes the thing.
Or you could make hand jerky.
Mm.
There you go.
Or a hand of glory.
Hell yeah. Yeah, good job, dudes.
Yeah.
I'm actually going
Yeah,
to
well-
a D&D inspired Thanksgiving on Wednesday, and they have like cookbooks for D&D shit. I'm just gonna bring mashed potatoes, but
I have one of the D&D cookbooks, actually.
but yeah, there's
Given
6
to
of
me as a
us, and
Christmas
we're
gift.
all bringing shit. So I'm just gonna buy mashed potatoes
Make
from
some
like
Tasha's brew, dude.
I'm just gonna buy mashed potatoes from fucking King Supers and call it like fucking I don't know, fucking peasant spuds. I don't know.
Rations.
Right?
Your daily gruel.
Use some gruel.
My gruel rations.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. But I've actually come
Hey.
because I was bitching. I think I was bitching to you, Dave, about it, and I've come to the realization that I'm just going to do my best to try and role play with this character. Maybe they're trying to be like kind of off-putting because that's their character and they want to role play. You know what? I'll give you benefit of the doubt. Because I got a party I play with on Wednesdays that just makes this fucking brutal. I don't even know if I want to go back, but I was like, you got to give it a chance before you start judging people. So I was like, you know what? Let me give these people a chance, and because they are very new, and it's just like they do not want to work together in any way, shape, or form, and it's just very frustrating, especially with a group of all new people where you're just trying to like move along, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, we have this. Have you played Tomb of Annihilation, Zach?
Yeah.
Well, there's these pirates that we're trying to take out, and one of the
Mhm.
pirate first mates has been like, "Hey, betray the captain, I'll pay you." And the captain's like, "Hey, my son just got wrecked. Help me try to get him resurrected." And we're like deciding on like what we want to do, and I'm like, "I love that." But the last time we fought the captain, half the party didn't want to do it, and the other half did because he was gonna kill one of our homies. And basically, I just said at the end of the session, like, listen, if it does happen, like if we do end up fighting this guy, like, attack him. Like, don't not attack the guy.
Yeah.
Like if it's our
Can't
life
half-ass
versus
it.
his, it's us. We're picking us, right? And one of the player I'm having trouble with was like, well, no, my character wouldn't do that. And I was like, I'm not saying like if you're gonna instigate a fight, she said, if you're gonna instigate a fight, then I'm not gonna help. I'm like, well, I'm not talking about instigating a fight. I'm talking about him trying to fucking kill us. Not because I just stabbed him, but because he's just a pirate. And that's what pirates.
Self-defense. Yeah.
Right. And then I made a comment of like, well, because she's a sorcerer, so she's wants to do all the face. And I was like, well, if you instigate something through a conversation, I'm not gonna, da 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 da. So I was like, that's pretty negative. I probably should just be a little nicer and fucking just role play it out and see if they're willing to role play, willing to kind of open up a little bit. Maybe that'll change things. But because I know some people who are like, oh, I just met these people, I'm not gonna trust them. It's like, yeah, I get that, but like,
Yeah,
we
you
are
gotta
people at a
give some
table, and I
red
drove an hour to
flags.
get here, so I want to play D&D. Can we just move this along? You know? We got one
Yeah.
guy coming from the Springs. He drives like an hour and a half there, hour and a half back. It's only like 30 minutes for me. I'm like, damn,
Oh,
dude. And
jeez.
he was telling me, like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I was like, I'm going to give it one more shot.
It's it's not easy if everyone's different alignments too. Like I've definitely made the point like, hey, if my character's not gonna work in this group, like if I have to break my own alignment all the time to keep cohesion, I'll just make a new character.
Right.
We could keep playing. I just have to know that this is gonna work or not.
But I also like the concept of, like, I can say the things I say and know there's going to be that guy who's like, well, what about like this? It makes it more fun because it's like,
Yeah,
Yakubaki's
'cause
kind of like
you also,
clueless. He hasn't
Yeah,
been in a human town like this, so.
I
No,
mean,
for sure.
I kind of like the whole like being like just lawful good too, because it kind of puts everyone else in check too. So
That's I was really waiting for other people last session to be like, maybe we should kill more people, and here's why it's a good thing. Like
Frame
someone
it
just
in a good.
I always have an Irving be like, we should probably not kill because that's inherently bad. So here are some alternatives. And no one really fought against that too much, other than that sounds really hard. I was like,
Yeah.
that's not a good reason.
My biggest
though.
thing was like, I just don't want to go to jail, and these humans are crazy. So I guess we'll just listen to the human. He probably knows what he's talking about.